In this video, we're going to look at equivalent fractions. So if we look at the picture here, you can see the same amount of the rectangle has been shaded in each image. The only difference is some of them have been broken into more sections. So for example, this whole rectangle has been broken into 3 equal parts. This rectangle has been broken into 6. And this one, if we count them all, has been broken into 12. So with the first one, if I was to work out the shaded part, that is the part that is shaded in of that rectangle, I would say 1 over 3. Okay, so 1 square or 1 rectangle out of the 3 has been shaded in. The next shape, it's been broken into 6 parts and 2 parts have been shaded in. And the final one, it's been broken into 12 parts and you can see 4 parts have been shaded in. So what we can say is that a third is equivalent to 2/6, which is also equivalent to 4 over 12. And you can see this by the objects that the exact same part of the rectangle is shaded in. So now with these ones, what I want you to do is to pause the video and have a go at these yourself. So I'll fill in the first one. So we need to write an equivalent fraction for each of these. So up here, you can see one part, or it's been broken the square into 2 parts. So that's the denominator, and one part has been shaded in. The next one here, it's been broken into 4 parts, and 2 parts are shaded in. So I'm going to write 2 in there. So what I want you to do is to go ahead and pause and to try and solve the rest of them. Okay, so I've gone ahead and answered those, so I want you to check what you've got. Now the only one that was a little bit different was probably if you look at this orange one here. Okay, it was 3 over 6 is equal to 4 over 8. Now these two orange ones, if you imagine that was down the bottom, that would be the same parts shaded in. The rest of them, what you could have done is worked out what the number was multiplied by. So that's 2's multiplied by 2. So if I multiply the 4 by 2, that would get me to 8. And we can do those with the rest of them to work out the equivalent fractions. So the definition for an equivalent fraction can be defined as fractions with different denominators and numerators that represent the same value or proportion of the whole. So let's say I had the fraction 1 over 3. It's going to equal 4 over 12. And the way that I got to that was multiplying it by 4. So I multiplied the denominator, then the numerator by 4. Let's say I did another one, and this time I'm going to multiply by 6. Let's see what we get. So 1 multiplied by 6 gives me 6, and 3 multiplied by 6 gives me 18. So they are all equivalent fractions, and I can keep going on with those forever. So now what you need to do is make 3 equivalent fractions for the following. So we've got 3 over 4 and 7 over 10. So pause the video, think about what I've just done for the previous example, and work out 3 more equivalent fractions for A and B. So your answers may be a little bit different to mine, and that's okay. I'm just going to do the first couple. So I'm going to multiply by 2. That'll give me 4 times multiplied by 2 is 8. 3 multiplied by 2 is 6. Now 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. And 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. So again, all I've done, multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 3, multiply by 3, and finally multiply by 4 to get to the next one. So I'll do the same. So 7 multiplied by 2 is 14, 10 multiplied by 2 is 20, 7 multiplied by 3 is 21, 10 multiplied by 3 is 30, and 7 multiplied by 4, 28, 10 multiplied by 4 is 40. And so there are 3 equivalent fractions to the first one. So again, yours might be a little bit different. You might like to check your answers on your calculator. Make sure that they are equivalent to 3/4 and 7/10.